Hey, just got some inspiration I want to talk on. I was just listening to a song that I really like by a band called Barlow Girl. It's some Christian pop, basically, from like the early 2000s, 2006-ish. It's definitely kind of like a, I don't know, secret guilty pleasure, something like that, kind of, that I like. But anyway, I found a lot of comfort through their music as a Christian in high school and growing up, you know. Um, but anyway, it's this song that I was just listening to. It something I've noticed that's pretty interesting. I think is that um, most mainstream Christian music is not made by Latter-day Saints, because Latter-day Saints make up only like 2% of the Christian world, I think. Something like that. It's a very small percentage, or of the world, but probably of the world. It's a small percentage of the world, I think. But anyway, Latter-day Saints are definitely a minority type of religion, you know. But and obviously we have different viewpoints there. We understand our understanding of God is so much different, and the things that we know about God are so much different in certain ways than most Christians and most normal Christians, mainstream Christians. And so, like, a lot of the worship songs I listen to, a lot of the Christian music that I listen to is great, but I also feel like it's not necessarily representative of what I believe exactly, right? There's little bits of doctrinal differences you can hear in the lyrics, or in the in the direction the song is going, and things like that. I don't even want to like get into like the differences. I'm not trying to make it like, oh, you know what, they're not telling the truth, they're not really doing things right. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that. So the song by Barlow Girl that I was listening to is called "Thoughts of You," and it's about God. It's about thoughts of God, and it says, "Thoughts of you, and how you've changed me, fill my mind." And so it's pretty interesting, and I love taking what is said, and it's like this special emotion. I can relate to it so much. It's like, oh, this is so beautiful. It's lush. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. But then at the same time, when I ask myself, is that the way I see it, and is that the way I feel? My answer is different. And so that's the interesting part. That's the thought that I wanted to share in this video. That's what I wanted to make this video about, because my thought about it is a little bit different. And so it's like okay, so let me break it down here. So, thoughts of you, God, and how you've changed me. God, the same. God, you have changed me, and it's left me with these thoughts. And it kind of blows my mind. It's filling my mind, but it's kind of blowing my mind. You have changed me. And so it's interesting, because I think, because on a surface level, I don't necessarily feel like it's God who's changed me specifically, or per se. I just don't think of it that way. I don't think of it as God has changed me. I feel like, well, it is me who has changed me. I changed me. I figured out this, and this about God, and I made changes to become more like Him, to live by His precepts, by His principles, by His guidelines, by His commandments, and therefore I have become more like God, because I am doing things more like He does them. That's the way I feel about it. And so while I love the song and I recognize the sentiment, I recognize that concept, it doesn't necessarily fit me, and especially not the way that it used to. Like, I used to just think of things so differently. Like, oh my gosh, God, I've given my life to you and you have changed me. But I just think of it differently now. And I don't want to come across, for you guys who aren't, I think for you guys who especially aren't Latter-day Saints who are hearing this, I think you probably have some alarm bells ringing by what I said about God not changing me, but me changing me. Because a lot of people actually believe that we don't do anything ourselves. We don't do anything. Either God blesses us with the gift of faith in Him, aka we are His elect, or we're not. And I don't believe that. I don't believe that we are just inanimate objects that get acted upon. No, I believe that we have a consciousness, we have an identity, we have the ability to make our own choices, which is pretty irrefutable. You have the ability to make your own choices. And so don't sell out. Don't act like somebody else is making your choices for you. And don't let somebody else make your choices for you. Make choices for yourself. And that hits deep. I need to think about that more. I need to pray on that more. But yeah, I love the song, Thoughts of You and How You've Changed Me by Barlow Girl. And it's a very soothing, relaxing song. It's a very emotive song as well. It's very like, I just love that God exists, and I just love that we can become like Him. That's my version, and I'm so happy about that. I just love that, right? And so I'm really excited about becoming more like Him over time, little by little, each day, the steps that I take to become more like Him. I am so thankful for that ability to become more like Him, to do things more His way, But yeah, it's a good song. I recommend the song. I recommend the band, Barlow Girl, and the song Thoughts of You. But I do want to say that, especially, well, it's not. I'm not gonna give you guys a warning. I'm not gonna give like Latter-day Saints a warning about the music. But I am gonna say that doctrinally, it's not necessarily the same. Like, they don't come from the same doctrine at all. And so, and I think there are some drastic differences. I'm not saying that they're horrible people because they believe differently. But I am saying that they do have a different understanding of God. And but anyway, the music is joyful, and the music is supportive. The music is the music is ultimately supportive for Christians, and including Latter-day Saint Christians. And I think that you'll find it enjoyable. So I recommend it. It's poppy, but it's also they do pop songs, like they do like upbeat like songs, like catchy songs, but with a beat. But they also do more serious songs. They also include like slightly worship songs, songs that are slightly worshipful, but they're really good, and they're like modern. They're these young girls, and they're like hip, and it's like, but they're also like spiritually mature, which is so great. Like, they realize that it's important to focus on God, right? And they realize that it's important to have a relationship with Him, and they realize it's important to focus on God, which is like, that's amazing. That's what it's all about right there. That's what it's all about. That's what I want. That's what I want in a partner. Someone who focuses on God, knows the importance, and stays focused on Him. And none of us are perfect. We all fall short here and there. But, Anyway, I'm not going to sing it because I don't necessarily feel it right now. I don't feel like singing it. I will feel it. Yeah. Also because I think it's more so because it's like they have pretty feminine voices when they sing, especially in this song. And so it's a little tricky to kind of like morph my voice into like, it's tricky to think of how I should sing their song, right? Because I don't want to sing it exactly like them, and I don't want to like, pick up all their little niche tendencies and things like that. But anyway, I am just saying that they are awesome, and you should definitely listen to them. So yeah, check out Barlow Girl, listen to Thoughts of You, and listen to Enough. That's a really good song too.